You are not afraid of the real danger in your life that you will go one day away from this world. Why you are afraid of that stupid inspector? Why you are afraid of somebody is asking you a tough question?
So we're talking about all these things when you said that when US FDA came into the picture, and how was your experience? What was your role during that time?
I was the front leader. The stain guns were at me only within the company and from the inspector. After 97 years of Alembic, I was the first person under whose leadership we got FDA clearance. So people used to say, "You why you carry your people?" I never carry. I say, मैं काम के आदमी को लेता हूँ. There is nobody is मेरा आदमी या तुम्हारा आदमी. Either वो काम का आदमी है या काम का नहीं है.
Quality leadership often means saying no when everyone around you expects a yes from you.
Okay.
Is there a moment when taking the right quality call came at a personal or professional cost, and how did that experience shape you?
Valid question. I always used to say, the team working there, whether they are aware what they are doing. If you do not know what you do not know, you will never got to know what you were supposed to know. If I do not know what is my weakness, whole life I will be in a Brahma that I am best. Today we are heading to a situation where if we do not improve, we will be out. That's the blunt answer I am giving.
So today's guest is someone who has quietly shaped the backbone of pharmaceutical quality in India for decades. A veteran quality leader, former senior vice president corporate quality at Lupin, and now the force behind new industry-driven initiative Courtesy 23. He brings with him not just experience but conviction. Known for his uncompromising stance on integrity and systems, today's conversation is not about shortcuts. It's about doing quality the right way. Please welcome Mr. Deepak Kasbi. How are you, sir?
I am fine.
So, sir, you have lived through multiple eras of Indian pharma, from growth years to intense global scrutiny. If you look back, what was the toughest phase of your career? We really wanted to know, how did your journey started? Amongst that, what was your toughest part?
Okay. Thanks, Kadambari, for inviting me here for such a wonderful podcast. See, that's first part of your question. I would say that you said it rightly that we entered into the pharma biz or pharma sector somewhere in 1985, and at that point of time, pharma was not much under focus, and we were lucky that we grew with the pharma. Whether it is technology, whether it is awareness, whether it is regulations and all those things. So when you say toughest part was the one is change. Change is temporary, but we have transformed ourselves. So we were lucky that we were in the phase of transformation. So first and foremost point which you just now said is toughest part. The toughest part was a sea change, a cultural change. Because in good old days, our owners used to say, why did you reject the batch? See, some batch has any problem, they used to, why did you reject the batch? And today the era has changed. The same person is asking, how can you release a batch which is failing? So that change I have personally seen, because I was fortunate that at some point of time I was working closely with the top management and the owners. So that's the change which I have seen, and that was the toughest part in our career, that how to play a game which is symbiotic with respect to the owners, business, compliance, quality, and our own pride. So that particular era, I would say it was from precisely in my journey, I say it was 1994 to 2003 or 4. Then there was one again dip, which whole industry came when US FDA flooded with the lots of 483s and lots of warning letters. And then there was again a setback to the industry. That was another tough page for the quality leaders especially. Later on, the compliance was linked to the business. So our life was a bit easy, honestly speaking. At the fag end of my career, last 10 years, the life was easy because to convince the owners, to convince the top management was easy with respect to that they knew that if we do not do this, cost to the organization. So there's the first question about my journey. I am a postgraduate in organic chemistry from Vikram University, Ujjain School of Studies. I started my career as a teacher. Actually, very few people know that I was teaching in a school where I studied for almost 6 months, not more than that. And then I got an opportunity with Ranbaxy, which is now Sun. So I started with a very base level chemist. I used to do water testing. And from there I grew up. My bosses had today also they say a week ago I spoke to Mr. Pushpinder Bindra, who was our super boss over there. He said, Deepak, I know, I saw a spark in you, and then we pulled you from the crowd and all those things. So that was the lucky part that I was chosen for a faster growth. Several leadership programs were there, which I was part of for the growth purposes of the organization as well as myself. And then I grew up in the Ranbaxy from a very junior level to senior manager level in span of 15 years. Almost 5 or 6 gradations were there, and from there I within the Ranbaxy also I was given a special assignment for quality transformation at our Crossland facility, which was acquired by Ranbaxy in 1999, 1998, and I was sent there in Goa as a quality head to set up the systems in Ranbaxy, Goa. That was also a very good time for me, and I learned a lot because I was the super boss, so I had to take decisions. So one of the important point that if somebody wants to grow, he should be able to take decisions. Then from there, I went to a company called IPCA for a very short span of period. Because of the location, I had lots of family issues with respect to educations of the kids somehow. So I moved to Alembic. There I had achieved a bigger milestone in my life and career, that after 97 years of Alembic, I was the first person under whose leadership we got FDA clearance. So that was really one of the, I would say, best moments of my life, because nobody was me to guide. I was only the responsible person, responsible, accountable, fireable, everything I was there. But I had a good team. I could make a good team. And to my surprise, when I look back, the people who started career with me in somewhere 1990, my juniors, most of them were with me till my last working day. So people used to say, why you carry your people? I never carry. I say, मैं काम के आदमी को लेता हूँ. There is nobody is मेरा आदमी या तुम्हारा आदमी. Either वो काम का आदमी है या काम का नहीं है. So I was lucky that I had a team of almost 50% people known to me. So my life was very easy. I had to just tell them this is to be done, and I know they will understand and they know what to do. Then this Lupin started in 2005 start, and there also we had challenges. We got FDA approvals. Even we had some dips also that we had encountered, a warning letter which we overcome in 6 months. And I would give this credit to our late Dr. DBG. He was instrumental in aligning the team. He was the person who used to motivate us. And this is also a fact which very less people know across the Lupin even, that in last, I am talking about contemporarily at the time of 2008, DBG came to Lupin 3 times before that, from 1964 to 1989 to 2008, 2-3 times. But from in 2008, he came 5 times. He used to, for warning letter clearance. So that was one of the thing which everybody was fully charged, and things went well. And then the journey started of my global vendor qualification, then electronic quality management system. I was the business BPU, that is business process owner. Then the journey of the contract manufacturing all across India started, and global vendor qualification cell. So I was fortunate that my bosses had trust in me. So I was given 2 international assignments for quality transformation and overview. Again, the acquired company, the Enquimica Brazil, which is a Lupin's sister concern, and Green Labs Mexico. So that was yet another milestone which has given me an international exposure for direct working with the different continents. As far as international exposure is concerned, I don't remember, except Australia and New Zealand. I have traveled whole world for business purposes, for auditing and all. So all in all, I would say I am satisfied with my contributions, but I still want to give it back to industry. That's why you read that Courtesy23 is a service which I am offering at a nominal charge of ₹23, so that if somebody wants to utilize the experience, but the reciprocation in that deal is important. So it's just not that I go somewhere and then they listen to me, but they do not implement that. I am not interested in that part. So that's my journey. It's pretty satisfying with the blessings of God, elderly people, and of course my mentors, my bosses. So that's the, I don't know whether it covers your all the answers or not, but I try to. So
great journey, great journey. The part where you said that the change which you have seen, like when people used to say, okay, why didn't you release the batch?
Yeah.
Now they say, okay, how can you release the batch? And the change is really great, and it says that, it proved that we are heading to a great future in
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And when you said that when nobody was there to guide you, so you are the only one who took the decisions. You are also fiery. So are you a strict boss then?
See, you know, I was fortunate to have at that point of time my boss, Mr. Alok Ghosh, and he has given us a lot of freedom. He used to say, Deepak, you take a decision. I will back it up. You may fail, no problem, but you will learn. Yes. So that confidence of his in me helped me to take decisions. And then over the period of time, I converted those decisions into analytical decisions.
Okay.
I used to say, what is the risk associated? Is it a quality risk? Is it a patient risk? Is it a safety risk? Is it a business risk? And then by comparing all these 4 or 5 pillars, when we used to take a decision whether this is doable or not doable, if doable, up to what extent, so that thing happened. So One more learning which I generally give to my team during my team building approach, and I learned it in Goa only, that if in a meeting you are able to think a right option 1.5 seconds ahead of others, you are the winner. That 1.5 second is the differentiator between a doer and a leader.
Very true.
Otherwise, everybody is ready to follow the instructions, and they will be in a situation to do it meticulously. There are people, if you tell them, they will do on dot what you have said, but they do not know that how they can add value to it. There is a word in management, there is a Pareto of event. In our industry, I don't want to blame everybody, but there are many doers. They are Pareto of events. They will come in one breath, they will describe all their problem, but they will never think how this could have avoided, or what do I do. So that's why I say, if a person gets out from the reactive approach to proactive, probably things are easy. It is better prepare to protect rather than react to repair. So these are the small things which, if somebody understands, things are in a better shape. Today morning, I had said one very valid insight on the understanding and how to help yourself. So I gave a two-liner story that a father and his son went to the doctor, and father said to doctor that, my son is finicky, he's cranky, at times he shouts, at times he does weird things, so please look into. So doctor asked father to lay down on the stretcher and then start checking him. So father said, I am not the patient, my son is the patient. No sir, I am trying to find the root cause. So that's the point which we are missing in the pharma industry, that we do not go to the root cause. That's the story, there's the jargon, but the real story lies that what are your effort to get deeper into the root cause.
Correct.
Like that. So, and if you start that, if you have that flavor, if you have that, instinct, that killer's instinct, then probably life is easy. But for that, you have to live into your job, into your profession, into your knowledge domain around the clock. It cannot happen that now I have gone to my home and I'm off, I don't know what happens there. No.
Yes.
I don't know, but this is my personal experience that when I was working, it was hardly any day, any off that I was away from my company. Mentally, not physically, but mentally, always, or yeah, that was the job, why this could happen, let us think over it. So that continuous churning process, some day, some other way, will give you some solutions. And that helped me and my team. And I was fortunate that I had a wonderful team. And I can list so many names, but if I name someone, others will feel bad. So I am not naming anybody, but all my deputies till now, they were wonderful. And I am happy to say most of them have grew up much better than what I had expected to grow them. Wow. And couple of them are leading the big organization as a global leader of the quality. So there is a word said that Guru Gur to Chela Shakkar. So that is true with me, that some of my deputies whom I taught how to speak even, and they are leading the organization. So that's, I am personally happy and my blessings are with them, that they are really done a great job like that. So this is what comes to think.
Amazing, sir. Sir, when you said that who knows how to take decisions. Decision makers are the one who are the good leaders. So can you share any of an instance where the things were out of your hand and you took a decision which impacted the whole situation?
Okay, so I will not disclose the full credentials of the issue. There was a situation in 2008 in one of my company, Lupin, where inspectors were at the gate. The surprise inspection was there, and there was internal chaos. Inspectors are there, surprise inspection has started. I said, nothing doing. I asked only one thing, that did you do anything wrong? No. Then why are you afraid of? So somebody said, sir, in our scrapyard there is lots of papers are there. I mean, is there anything which you have done wrong? No. Those are routine destruction. You document. Rest assured, nothing goes wrong. Go ahead. I am going to face them. That's an issue. So when we talk about decision is also a situation. How you react to that situation is also a decision. Because if leader panics, everybody will get into the team panics. And I never used to say that it is done by me. And I'm big fan of Dhoni, by the way. But Dhoni came later, my style came earlier. But it was the cut copy paste that, it is all what team does. You are just trying to give them direction. But if you do not know how to do that job, then you will never be able to become leader or teach them. Because one point of time, people will understand that here this fellow is just trying to maneuvering the thing is not the value addition which is giving. Now, today somebody said, sir, you are our idol. I said, nobody is idol. You just work on your own domain, things will improve upon. So the decision, as you said, one decision, I can tell you one more example of that decision, but this decision was of another company. There, one of the sterile ampoule batch has some white particles, and is at that point of time, management said, we cannot destroy this batch. I said, nothing doing. This has to be destroyed, and that too in front of QA. And I was very clear. And the issue went to the executive committee, then to the top management and all. Then I was questioned by senior leaders. I said, sir, look, there is a direct health hazard with this. And I can't name the gentleman, but I said, will you take 2 shots of this injection? If yes, I will release the batch. And that ended the matter. And that whole batch was crushed in front of me, and that with a special directive that we want a videography of that to be done. So point what I am trying to say, that as long as your intents are right, as long as you are scientific in approach, as long as you know the subject, things would turn easy. Surface management doesn't work. You have to have a deep dive experience, that what has gone wrong at the floor. And that's why good leaders are those leaders who have grown from the shop floor to the top. With due respect to all management organizations, that management studies will not make the leaders. They will give you tools, but how to use the tool is not easy. Sachin Tendulkar is the god of the cricket, but his son is nowhere. So it's not all about that the teaching will make you the things. So there are so many such examples where we can always quote that it is you, your instinct will make you big, like that.
Very true. Quality leadership often means saying no when everyone around you expects a yes from you.
Okay.
Was there a moment when taking the right quality call came at a personal or professional cost, and how did that experience shape you?
Valid question. In fact, I had one point to share dot on that question. See, you said did you face any challenge or came to you or professionally or personally? You know, I always used to say that there are two types of GMP. Now, for GMP is one is good manufacturing practices, and another is cGMP, that is current good manufacturing practices, because this industry is evolving. What was GMP yesterday is today here, tomorrow it will be here, after that it could be there. But in between, I used my own invention, creation, is eGMP. What is eGMP? Is ethical GMP. So GMP for the ethics, with the ethics, to the ethics. It means if a medicine which I am making, I can give it to my grandson, I am okay. So there was one gentleman in Baroda, and the same condition, it came to my personal challenge, not the professional. दीपक, यू ऑलवेज से नो यार, ऐसा तो नहीं चलेगा, तुम क्यूए वाले हो तो तुम हर चीज का मना करोगे, ऐसा तो नहीं चलेगा. सो देन आई आस्क्ड, ओके डियर, यू टेल मी कैसा चलेगा. ही सेड, कैसा क्या चलेगा, ये जब ये ट्रक बाहर जाएंगे तो ही तो धंधा आएगा. ऐसे ट्रक को तो बाहर जाना है, पर वो बाहर जाने की तैयारी आपने गलती की है, इसलिए मैं खड़ा हूं. आप ये बताइए कि पिछले एक महीने में मैंने कितने ट्रक रोके. Every day there are 2 to 3 lorries are going out. If QA is to stop them, I will stop every lorry over there. Why should I stop only one lorry? Think on it. Answer is with you, not with me. In the same context, in Lupin, I said in a quality meet to my MD at that point of time, I asked that question, sir, why that red button of the machine is to be switched off by a QA fellow? If a product is getting some problem, if the packaging is not proper, it is easily visible for anyone. So why a 6-month experienced QA fellow needs that I will stop the line because quality is not good? So this is the thing which we need to work out. And from that day onwards, after MD's instruction in Lupin, a daily coordination meeting started at 11 p.m. at every location. Now timing has changed. Somebody has said Surya Namaskar, somebody has said Chai Pe Charcha, all those things. But the meeting started to have a better coordination between QA and production. Because QA has a different role to play and production has a different role to play. The actual role of QA is to provide the legal advocacy.
So, sir, what are the top 2 to 3 quality risks Indian pharma companies are still underestimating today, especially in data integrity, digital systems, or global inspections?
Okay, this is basically the next same version of the previous question. See, today we are heading to a situation where if we do not improve, we will be out. That's the blunt answer I am giving. The reason is very simple. This industry, this setup, this mindset has changed a lot. The requirements have gone up. And you know, these days NDMA, NDEA, elemental impurities, carcinogenic impurities, all things have come into the picture. So awareness of the quality has gone up. So current challenges in India, to my understanding, is consistency, sustainability. See, people are excellent in drafting a fantastic response for given 483s and warning letter that we will do this, we will do this, we will do this, and they give very lucrative responses, and they do it for once. Somebody do it for 2 months, but there is no sustenance check of the compliance. I repeat the word, the sustenance to the compliance is the key to the success. When we speak about sustenance to compliance, is indirectly talking about the data integrity. See, the basic GMP principle which covers 99.99% of the world is do what is written, write what you do. Unfortunately, since last 50-60 years, we are unable to teach this small statement to the youngsters, to the owners, to the businesses. Everything should not be compared with the business. If you are very much interested in business, you go into the FMCG or you go into the other textile industry where there is no life threat. You play around, the one cloth which is available at 60,000 rupees, the same will be available at 6,000 also. So the point I am trying to say that data integrity, sustenance, compliance, they blend together and they cannot be discriminated. Data integrity will be required with the discipline. If a person is not discipline is required to get a better culture. Overall, if you see from the top, all these things are arising from the mindsets, whether mindset of the doer, mindset of the executor or the leader. If in a given particular time frame, all the people come together and say, no, our main target is sustenance, then only things would work. Otherwise, we will write nice, drafting, will give good lectures, but unless it is not percolated to the last line of the shop floor, things would not change. And I would say, we are lacking on the consistency part. We are lacking on the percolation of the issues, how serious they could turn. Now, there are several examples across India. Time and again, we fall into the same trap. Somebody has written some weight. So since last 20 years, we know we cannot write any weight or any reading on the hand or on a piece of paper. It has to be controlled, but still people follow that and get trapped. That gentleman comes for 3 days, 7 days. In those 7 days also you do that mistake. So that's the point. The mindset has to change. We should be ATR, that is anytime readiness. We should not prepare for any inspection. I used to say my team, we will never prepare for inspection. If we fail, we were wrong. If we pass, we did it right, but we didn't great. So we have to move our journey from good to great. Now what we are trying, that bad to worse to the good, all those things. So the journey has to, from better to next level of better, good to great, is nothing in between. Otherwise, over the period of time, one phase would come, this industry will not be viable. And if you know some companies, they shut down because those were not viable. And why they were not viable? Because they couldn't sustain the quality parameters. You know, that PEG issue is going on the cough syrup. How somebody can use a commercial grade? Where is your ethic? Where is that eGMP? You know what is, because the commercial EG has components or impurities which gives trouble to the teenagers or the kids. See, these are the examples available, but sustenance, discipline, and a mindset would deal with your three problems. Otherwise, things can go hayway, and we will never come to know. There's the key risk. When it will be thrown on you, you will never know. And at very advanced level, things can go terribly bad. Company would lose trillions of the dollar, not the millions of the dollars. And it has happened. If you read what has happened in some litigation, that's all.
So we're talking about all these things when you said that when US FDA came into the picture, and how was your experience? What was your role during that time?
I was the front leader. The stain guns were at me only, within the company and from the inspector, and that's the part of the QA. And I used to say, as long as you are doing it right, why should you bother? If you are doing right, and I used to say my team that today you are closing this document, please wait a minute, spend 30-40 seconds more, and try to wear the hat of an inspector and see how inspector would perceive it. One is context wise, another is concept wise. When I say context, when he reads, he should be able to understand, oh, you did this, you did this, you did this. Great. It's a chronology of event. He will understand. Now, you have written everything, but it is not understandable with this. So, the context may be good, but concept is not good. You know, if I have to show you Sholay picture and last scene first and first scene last, you will not enjoy. So this is a common problem in industry, that while drafting any document, whether it is change control, whether deviation, any inspection report, people do not know how to construct it, how to make a chronology of that event so that it is easily understandable to US FDA. You know, the inspectors are thoroughly trained to understand everything, but they still want to get into that. How good are you in handling the deviations? How good are you in handling the failures? Most of the people are aware that whenever the first inspection in any company happens, generally it goes smooth. You might have seen. Second, with some turbulence. Third onwards, they always get backfires. They always get big troubles. You can see everywhere. And even company, there are few companies, they have never come up from the warning letter situation. They are still in existence from other market, but not for US. They couldn't come out. The reason is same. You do the thing first time right, not for the sake of doing. One of the inspector said in one of my company, in India there is a problem that people take out their pen to write, but they don't open their eyes. It's a deep insight. You are writing, but you are not thinking. You are hearing, but not listening. You are physically here, but mentally somewhere. You are not focusing on your job. You do not know why it is happening. Sir, it has gone wrong. I don't know what happened. So those are the incidences which are weakening Indian industry. But there are few companies, they are way ahead with respect to all this. They have single agenda that nothing doing. Compliance is only the final objective, and they are in the process of merging QA with the production. The day that happens that QA is not needed in this organization, that would be the day you can say that we are now the leaders on the compliance. Why you should need a policeman? Because somebody is doing shortcuts, somebody is doing crime, somebody has some other intentions. Why QA are the policemen? Why QC is needed? It's a testing. QA is not needed to my experience. Why QA is needed? A person who has just 2 months or 6 months or 8 months experience, and another side the person is working in that area for 12 years, how is it possible that 8 months fellow comes and teaches him? And that's the reality. Why a production fellow should not be in a situation to understand that something has gone wrong? In one of the audit I found, in a room you have to maintain a temperature. So the thermometer has to be kept on the hot spot so that you consider the worst case position of the temperature. That fellow has smartly put the probe with some camouflage right in front of the AC blower. This was my so these are the shortcuts. Somebody can see it, somebody may not see it. There are so many things which happens, but the moral of the story is that do it right first time. You know what you are supposed to know your problems, try to fix it for sustenance and permanent understanding. It's not you fix it today. Quick fixes days have gone. Window dressing policies are over. Such policies will never ever work. Few companies are still into that zone. चलता है, देखा जाएगा, पकड़े गए तो बोलेंगे. If this is caught, we will answer. That's the mindset which we have to come out. We should say every document, every batch, everything will come in the question. If it comes in the question, are we in a situation to defend? Are we in a situation to explain? Are we in a situation to make the inspector understand that what we did was right? And our intents are very clear. So inspectors generally look forward to Indian industry that how you are dealing your failures. Invariably, at times, we terribly fail in explaining that. We terribly fail that why we couldn't handle the thing. Now, your SOP, your process says that until unless this stage of the product doesn't pass, you should not take it further. Okay? But we take it. Why? The answer lies there. Why did you allow this stage to move further? Was it clear? No. But आज तक fail नहीं हुआ है. Auditor's luck, that failed. See, these are the shortcuts which we need to move out. We need to plan things in advance. We should not talk about just in time. Just in time is possible in Japan. Probably India has a lot to do because our inventories, our inputs, all those things have lots of variables. So when variables are high, pharmaceutical by design variables are high, so challenges are big. But in last 10 years or 15 years, awareness has gone up, but actions to mitigate those risks is still not meeting the pace which is needed by industry as a whole, on the scientific part, on the compliance part, on the automation part. All three needs lots of work to be done. I don't know whether this helped your question or not.
Very well said, sir. So, we'll move on to our last question. You have started a new initiative, Courtesy23, as a service to the pharma industry, giving it back to the industry. What problem are you solving through this platform that traditional consulting models fail to address?
Okay. So, the first and foremost reason of this Courtesy23 was that the companies who can't afford the dollar price, the quotation in the dollars, the companies who are really, willing to do a better job, the companies or the houses, they want to do a good job, but they are afraid of that if somebody comes and gives us a long budget or the long quotation of the compliance, not to himself but to the company, that these changes are required, that changes. So as I said in between, the legal advocacy, the role of the QA is to fit to the things to the best possible. So suppose you have a small area, but you do not know how to handle this area in order to have still compliance in place. So my idea is to give it back to the industry with a perspective that the people who can't afford, number one, the people who want that maybe gradually, but we want to improve, the houses or the organization who wants to grow at a slower pace but in the right direction. So there was one sentence somebody has said recently on any news that आपकी दिशा तो सही है लेकिन हमारी दशा सही नहीं है. So you are in right direction, but we are not properly placed. So to bridge that gap, to align the compliance, the business, and the strategic visionary, if I can help, that's the idea. The queries have come that, sir, you please give us the training. So I said, I will not give training. Reason, training is what? Today I trained you, tomorrow you will forget. There is no sustenance model in our all thing. Training aaj diya, kal bhul gaye. So I said, this is not for training. Training we will have separate understanding. Today I want to get into the key quality issues, key quality concern, infrastructural issues, design issues, conceptual issues, whether the team working there, whether they are aware what they are doing. As I said in the morning, if you do not know what you do not know, you will never got to know what you were supposed to know. अगर आपको ये नहीं मालूम है कि आपको क्या नहीं मालूम है, तो आपको कभी पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आपको क्या मालूम होना था. It's a jargon, but it has biggest insight that what a person, if I do not know what is my weakness, whole life I will be in a Brahma that I am best. Learning is a process, is a curve. This will not end till your last breath. And nobody knows what learning you will be, learning on your last breath. Do you know that? But you will know what you learned on your last breath, but you will not be able to tell it to me. But the pain of the death cannot be explained to anybody. And that's the reality. And this is the same thing I say. You are not afraid of the real danger in your life that you will go one day away from this world. Why you are afraid of that specter? Why you are afraid of somebody is asking you a tough question? The biggest tough questions life is asking you on day-to-day basis, you are facing it easily. For the small things, because you are not prepared. You don't have your domain in place. Your knowledge is weak. You are afraid. Your fear of failure. Ye ho jayega to ye ho jayega. And last thing which I say to my team, people often use their intelligence to cover up their failures. And I was the person, I used to always accept gracefully, it's my mistake, and I used to improve upon. We used to make our SOPs. So there was some problem. I said, who is this stupid fellow who has made this SOP? Sir, I know, yeah, this is my sign, I know. I only signed it. So learning is a phase. So I want with this service that I can put that company on a learning phase. I can give some tools, some techniques. I have made some Excel sheets of my own, so that if you use this Excel sheet and feed data honestly, they will give you the output of your key indices, that how we are dealing or how we are placed at this point of time. See, there is a sheet which gives you numbers of the compliance, and then you put just numbers. They will say you are in the satisfactory mode or not. It's a simple sheet, but the idea is that people should use it. And the industry, this is more for MSMEs. This drive is for more for MSMEs and small scale industry. For the big giants, they don't have problem. This is for more them. I helped 3-4 so far. They are very happy. They say, sir, can you extend it one more day? I said, we can always do that. The point is, give it back to industry and अच्छा लगता है. If somebody says, अरे यार हमको वो सर ने समझाया, बहुत अच्छा input मिला, so that feels you good. Otherwise, everything is good. Like that.
Great. I think this initiative is well needed in the industry, and I think it's a great initiative. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Deepak Kasbi, Senior Vice President of Corporate Quality at Lupin, and I am really grateful to learn from his experience. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
My pleasure.